That was
I
people.
sort of got it for the land use in a couple of places because then they understand what the term for the city is. So you go some places, they just give you a language plan, that's what they want, and they go through 4 iterations. So,
You even do that for.
yeah, I often use that.
Okay.
They get right first time.
Sure.
Is she in there or somewhere?
I'm sure.
Okay, we'll bring together the city council meeting for October the 10th, 2023. And we'll start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll stand and we'll be right here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council members, usual ender. Kim Helgeson.
Here.
Mary Bailey.
Here.
Molly Ryan.
Here.
Mayor Henke is here. We will go on then with, City Administrator Mark Wilson. Here. City Attorney Scott Riggs.
Here.
City Engineer Derek Bollinger.
Here.
Did I get it right?
That's it?
It's about time, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You can all laugh. I wrote it down different this time.
I want to see your other notes.
Yeah. So, okay, we have Police Chief Jeff Shelton here, and of course, the little lady in the corner, Holly's here. So we'll go on then with citizens' comments. Is there anybody that wishes for a certain comment? Yeah, move it a little bit out. But yeah, so we can all hear. There you go. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Todd Gressett, County Commissioner, and thanks for letting me have the opportunity. Just real quick, we did do our preliminary budget. We set that at the county, 5.5%. We did put a little high. Our goal is to get it down to around 3%. So hopefully that is accomplished over the next couple of months. A couple issues right now. You all heard about the Goodhue Police Department that made national news, and so we're really, it was an eye-opening for us at the council just because we're really undercharging for our other communities and for our SROs. So, you know, we're using terms like, you know, real costs, actual costs. So we are going to be adjusting. Where we end up, we're not, you know, quite sure yet, but there's going to be a significant increase for our Red Wing for the police department there. They are renting property or renting space from us in the sheriff's building. We've done some studies and it shows that in 10 years, we're gonna be totally out of space if we get all of their space. So Red Wing, we feel is actually researching going to another building that they own. So not for sure on all the specifics on all that, but it's kind of hard. Do you have any questions for me? Take back to the county or? Appreciate all you're doing and don't be scared to call me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else have some comments at the moment? Okay, not, we will move on. Adopt the agenda. Is there anything to be changed on that one?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay,
I make a motion to adopt the agenda. I'll second it.
okay, motion has been made, second to adopt the agenda as is. All of those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, ayes pass. Okay, we can do the consent agenda, approval of the minutes and appointments, and financial as one. Need a motion on that?
I'll make a
Or if
motion.
there's any questions on it?
Everybody's good? Okay, then I'll make a motion for the consent agenda and the approval of the minutes and appointments.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any more questions? If there isn't, there's been a motion made and second to adopt the consent agenda, approval of minutes and appointments, and financial as stated. All of those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes pass. Okay, presentations, public hearings, recognitions, proclamations. I do not know of any. Is that correct, Mark?
Yep, correct.
Okay. Okay, we will move on then. Engineering. Item A is 2023 street improvement project. And we'll let Derek take over.
Okay, thank you, Deb. So yeah, just a quick update on the project, and then we've got our first pay application for this one. If you've been out in that area, you've noticed that they've completed most, if not all, of their removals to this point. They've been doing grading over the past couple of days. There's been some talk about potentially trying to pave a little bit tomorrow, although I don't think that's actually going to happen. I believe paving will happen at some point next week, but they're moving along. It's good to see them out on site. They're making progress. So I guess unless there's any questions, we have a first pay estimate on the agenda here tonight in the amount of $20,612.39. Looking for approval on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay request one for BMI for the $20,612.39.
I'll second it.
Any more question on it? Otherwise, there has been a motion made and second for pay request number one for BMI for $20,612.39. Those in favor of the motion say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes pass. Okay.
All right, next is a brief update on this trail discussion that continues from last month. On October 2nd, at Parks Board meeting, we discussed this in more detail. I guess next steps kind of for moving forward with that is going to be appointing a committee directly related to that trail, and we had a lot of discussion on types of people that we're kind of targeting for that. No final decisions were made, but just kind of discussing overall goals for that. And then once that committee is put together, it's going to be putting together some type of public engagement plan. Anything you'd like to add, Mary? or Jen?
What's her gal? It's here.
Sita?
Cora. I just couldn't remember her name, I'm sorry. She made like a little, just kind of like a flyer, just kind of about kind of stuff we talked about. I thought that was, did you get it? Have you
I
seen it?
haven't seen it.
Oh, well, I'll have to bring it to you, but it's just, she just kind of, she found me, made a little flyer, just kind of a pamphlet, kind of the stuff, some of the stuff we had talked about, just, and we can change it, but it's just something we can pass out to the community so they can kind of know what we're kind of trying to start, so.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was cool. That's it.
Any other discussion on that one?
Has there been any volunteers or, to start any,
For the committee?
any discussion or anything of the sort?
We
I
do,
not.
we do, but like, we do have some people that are interested.
Okay.
But like Derek was saying, kind of like in here, we kind of want, people to volunteer and help, and people can volunteer throughout the whole process, doing different things. But for the committee, we were saying maybe try to get people that, just from different areas, like maybe someone that has a daycare, maybe somebody that's, maybe a senior, maybe, just different people in different parts of the community that, so it would be beneficial to everyone. And then they can represent the different parts of the community. So instead of just getting together like, a random group of people, maybe try to pull from different parts. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we want it's to represent the different, areas. So we're working on it.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, no more discussion on that. Last thing I had under engineering here. Local road improvement grant application. We're looking for approval to prepare an application for this funding program. So very quick description and some background. As you all know, we've had 6th Street project on this infrastructure management plan over the last several years. That's a larger project that's coming on down the line. Whenever we've been discussing that one, we've been talking about grant opportunities, some outside funding that we could potentially go after. This program in particular is one of the few that are out there that actually pays for surface improvements. There's just not a lot of resources out there, especially for small communities, that can pay for that. So this LRIP program, it's a competitive grant. Work with a number of communities that are going after this. It's a great program. Looking at this project in particular, I believe that 6th Street serves a regional purpose. Obviously with the school being there, there's folks from around the area that are using it. It's eligible. So obviously can't promise that we get it, but I think it's worth pursuing. Most of the application is realistically putting together a good cost estimate and some figures, and then there's obviously the grant application itself. But yeah, we're looking for approval to actually put together the application and then the costs associated with that.
You just need a motion to move ahead and put together the grant application.
Yeah. We come back next month with some, with an actual formal resolution directly related to this. This is something that I've also discussed with the county engineer. We need county sponsorship in order to do anything like this, so that discussion's been had. We'll have to continue that moving forward here.
And you might mention too that is from Spring Street to Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on that part, is there a time frame on that?
We need to have the application in by December 8th.
By December 8th, okay.
Derek, how does the county engineer feel? Input?
I mean, the discussion that was had was, we're thinking about going after this grant. Are you okay with sponsoring us? So there's a short list of responsibilities and time that we would need of them. But ultimately, it comprises of all these funds are routed through the state aid system. So as a small community, we don't have direct access to that. So the biggest responsibility in the county's role here is going to be helping us route those funds through with this project. Sometimes it actually means a contract, through them, but we can discuss those details later. Right now, we're just looking for, the actual application.
And who writes the grants? Do you have people that do this all the time? Or
Yep.
it's, a lot of it comes down to our transportation staff. They'll be writing dozens, if not more, through various communities throughout the state.
Well, we have one individual with us tonight, the commissioner, and I know that he's listening, and I do know that he has some teeth, because I'll tell you what, on Highway 60 earlier this summer, there's a piece of the road that literally, if you run a truck or any vehicle across it, it jumps all over the road. I called the commissioner, and I can tell you, 10 days later, it was cleared out. That's a state highway, so I know the guy's got some bite. So can you help us along?
Just love it.
I know you will.
Oh, definitely. Well, and I know the engineers, they'll, do whatever it takes to push it along.
Well, I'll make a motion to,
Yeah.
go ahead, to approve writing the grant application.
I would like to second that motion. Any more discussion on it? If not, we'll move ahead with it. And the motion to approve the preparation for a LRIP grant application. All of those in favor of the motion, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes passed.
And that is all for right now.
Don't you wanna,
The Pearl Creek project was moved more towards the end, but I don't know if that's the intention. That was under new business.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay, that should be under engineering. So that was,
yeah, it's different on our form here versus on our computer, so
Okay.
we're,
Go for that one.
we got that one done, okay. Project update you have given on Pearl Creek.
Yep, just getting to it here. BCM has moved in. They've installed a good portion of the grading, we'll say about half of the driveway going down to the lift station site. The actual lift station structure itself and the valve vault, those concrete structures, those are in the ground. And then this past week, they've been digging in gravity sewer pipe. So sometime this week, let's say weather dependent with some of the rains coming in, we expect Ellingson, one of their subcontractors, to come in and start boring in the force main. So that's kind of what's expected for, work coming up here. So action items that we're looking for, kind of summarize what's in the letter here. Requesting a change order here tonight when we started digging in the lift station driveway up towards the top of the hill. What was discovered was quite a bit of concrete rubble below the surface. We did expect some concrete rubble along the edge there. You can actually see it if you just walk along the edge of the slope, but they were finding that same rubble down to a depth of at least 10 feet. So there's just a lot of material to deal with that wasn't part of the original bid. So we've been discussing that with BCM, our contractor, and they've given us pricing for this estimated quantity of concrete through here. That price is about $14,800. Regarding total project budget and contract amount, I guess the way that I'm looking at this, I'm not concerned right now that we're going to be over budget or anything like that with the total project funding package. What this change order would do would basically allow us to pay the contractor for the work that they're doing out there. So it's just a contract amendment. I don't have any reason to believe that we would finish over budget with this particular change. Any questions on the change order?
We had our discussion between you and I, on the boring, and the only thing that I said was disappointed that there weren't more boreholes done in that particular area. But I do understand, there's a procedure that you follow. Red Wing, you hit it every block, I believe, or whatever it was. First Street ran into a great big rock that wasn't even there. So that, you can't always predict, but I do know from understanding that was an area that had a lot of fill in it. The 14,000, I have no problem with that at all for what they hauled away. They had to haul fill in, we know that. So I'm satisfied with, myself anyway, I'm satisfied with the change order. There is one, well, I'll go back onto another one that I got on the project update, but we can go on with the change order, get that out of the way. I'll make the motion on that change order item number 1 be requested.
I'll second that.
Good. Any more questions on it? Not, then there has been a motion made, approved, to approve change order number 1 for $14,000+ dollars. All of those in favor of that, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes passed. Okay.
So, only other action item related to this project is first pay application. So this is that handout that I gave you all beforehand. I have a revision to this after I had submitted it to Mark for the packet. There was just a little bit of work that was missing in that. So this is just the last roughly 2 weeks worth of work since I started up with this substantial amount of work. So the total on that one is $146,217.91. Any questions on the application?
So again, you're saying a motion.
Yes, correct.
I'll make a motion to pay the application payment, $146,217.91.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion has been made, second then, to pay order $146,217.91 to Hunter DCM Construction. All of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes pass. Okay. The one question that I have is, I walked the whole thing this morning about 6:30 again, and going down between the two buildings, the two main buildings, there's a drain that goes there, and you can see, I figured maybe you were out there today or this evening.
Yep.
And that, how are they gonna take care of that particular, so that it doesn't continue on washing, because eventually it probably erode out the blacktop underneath.
Yeah, no, we've been talking about that. That drainage is a lot more concentrated in there between the two buildings.
Yeah.
So I think what's gonna end up happening is if we can just add a small culvert to route it completely below there. Then we can-
Underneath?
Yeah,
So you catch base in the hole where it's to go down?
yeah.
Because apparently it might be a good one this weekend, or supposedly with the rain we're
Oh,
gonna
it'll
get,
show.
we'll find out what it is doing, because
Yeah,
it's gonna erode it
yeah.
continuously all the time.
Yeah, that popped up after the rain, what was it, two weekends
Two
ago.
weeks, yeah.
Something needs to be done with that. I haven't finalized any details with it, but that was kind of the rough time.
Will that be, is that in the contract, or is that gonna be?
I have
in and
contingencies
above?
for smaller details like that, so I'm not anticipating to come back for a change order. We have some allowances set up for.
Anything else?
That was it.
Okay, well, thank you. We can go on then with legal, and Attorney Riggs.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll jump in. We have a straightforward lot combination for the William property up on Kenyon Road. If you've done a number of these over the years, you have a standard resolution number 2023-23, and it combines the two lots as shown in the certificate of survey, as well as that other depiction you have in the packet. And it's recommended you simply adopt resolution 2023-23, and it will allow that to be recorded as a lot combination. Very straightforward.
Any questions? Then I will make the motion to adopt resolution 2023-23.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion on this? If not, we'll vote on it. Resolution 2023-23, approving the lot combination. All those in favor of the motion, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it.
For you? Okay. Okay, old business is, the community entrance sign. Mark, I
So-
believe you're,
We reached out to both companies that we got quotes from that were Granite, Shad Tracy and Precision. We got some examples from Shad Tracy of some other signs that they've done. Which I want to open up.
Mine didn't have it either.
So anyway, seemed to be a technical difficulty right here tonight, but they don't want to open up. So I don't have any other information. We didn't get, I mean, Cora was her last day today, but she was gonna check again and see if there was any change in the pricing, and I haven't heard from her about, that, so I'm still going off of the other prices that we have. It should be.
if you go back to the top.
So you have that in your packet. So
There you go.
there's
That's it.
the,
There you go.
almost, if I go way down here, I think it'll show. Yeah, there it is, okay. So the first one was kind of the first design, and then after the council reviewed it several months ago, then wanted it flat, so they changed it to be flat, and that's kind of where it's at. I also didn't get any answer on the red letter for the K. I guess it's the same, it'd be the same price. I guess there's some question about how it's gonna look though on the sign, but anyway, so that's kind of all I have right now, so on that.
On the trip that I made to California 2 weeks ago, I watched for all of the different signs. I can tell you, there's all kinds of them out
Yeah, there
there.
is, yeah, there's a lot of different.
Yeah, you can look at them and think, oh, I wonder how much that one cost, really elaborate, and the next one anyway looks like, well, it needs an improvement on it, but, basically, they're all about this size, and so forth with it. And I like the second one, the one that you got up there now. So, is there any more discussion on it? Does anybody have? Or where are we gonna go with this?
Well, we'll have it on the agenda again next month.
Okay, that's what I figured.
I'll call these companies myself and we'll see if there's anything else. I don't know if we've gotten the permit either back from MinDOT, so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Until we get that back. Okay. Okay, so we'll work on that.
Yeah, that'll be fairly quick.
Okay.
And you're taking care of that.
Yeah, once, yeah.
Okay. Anything else brought up for old business, not that I know of? Okay. New business. Item A is fire department scuba coats. Is there, Wayne, are you going to bring forth on that?
So just a brief department update, I gave you a sheet in front of you with the call logs. This was current till 2 o'clock. We had one fire and one medical to this, we just got done with those before we came to the meeting. So just that. So the reasoning for the air packs is currently, our air packs are from 2007. They have a 15-year lifespan. Ours are 16 years old. Ours are the 2007 generation. They've had a 2013, a 2018 new NFPA versions. Now we're up to, there should be a new version coming out next year. In that, they have made multiple upgrades. along that. So this is gonna be, explaining both quotes here, one's for an air compressor and one's for the SCBA tax. So with the standard we currently have, we have a half-hour bottle, which is 2216, or 2,216 PSI. The new ones we're looking at going to are 4,500 PSI. The reason they're upping the air pressure is because right now our low air alarms go off at 25%. So at 25%, we get an alarm on our face mask, we got time to get out. The NFPA standards changed, they made that now 35%, so firefighters have more air to get out safely. So to combat the loss in air time, they increase the pressures in the bottle. Along with that, they've made upgrades in the face pieces. Firemen were having them melt, burn up. So they changed the plastics in them. They're now tested to 500 degrees. The other improvements are voice amp capabilities and buddy breathers. Buddy breathers is, if I run out of air, my partner can hook into me and give me air. So,
Can you give air to,
person,
yes,
no, not with what we wear. They make a RIT pack,
okay,
which is essentially a bottle and 2 airlines and a face piece. So if we were to purchase one of those also, we could go in and put a face mask on somebody, turn the blow light on, give them air, and then pull them out.
okay. Are you getting those?
It's not in our
Not in this
actual
yet, okay,
budget.
but maybe, that's
It's-
fine, okay.
It's a line item in the code.
Okay,
It's, that'd be the RIT bag for $4,500
okay,
on the floor. So going back to the compressor part of this, our compressor right now is a 7.5 horse, same as what the quote is. Ours is 30 years old. It's got a max PSI of about 4,000 PSI. So it currently wouldn't pump to 4,500. And also our 4 bottles, our air cylinders in our cascade system, they're only 4,000 PSI bottles. So we'd have to upgrade both of the air compressor and our 4 cascade bottles. The new compressor pumps to 5,000 PSI. The new cascade bottles are approved for 6,000 PSI. So part of this, Governor Waltz just signed the Public Safety Act. So Kenyon's getting just shy of $82,000. We decided that we split it 84,000, sorry. We were gonna split it 50-50 with the police department. So our half would be $41,833.50. That's payable to Kenyon December 26th of this year. So that money alone would cover the cost for the new air compressor. That comes in at $39,640. That would cover the compressor, the cascade system, installation, the whole 9 yards. So moving on to the SCBA part, that would leave us with $2,193 left to put towards the air packs. So we interviewed 3 different companies on our air packs. We tried the fit, the weight, the whole 9 yards. The department agreed that we liked the Draegers. So as you see in the quote, quote comes in at $111,845. Currently, we have 16 frames, 35 bottles, and each member has its own face piece. We kind of evaluated what we need. As a department, we decided to go with 12 frames, 29 bottles, and then 30 new face pieces for the new apparatus. The reason we had so much extra frames before is we had that 3rd engine and had the air packs on it. We since got rid of that, we decided we could go with 12 frames. So, the quote shows that on here. So part of how to pay for this, we started a fundraising drive earlier this year, and you read about it in the paper. We've done pancake breakfast, we did our mail-ins, we're bringing our dance back, and that is next month, November 25th. We've also had a lot of grants and donations from businesses. So right now, to date, we've raised just shy of $22,000. So what we're looking at doing is after our dance, bring this back to you. If we could pull money out of capital for the remaining balance to purchase the new PPE that we need.
That 22 total does not include the dance. I mean,
That does not include the dance, no. So, it's actually $21,789.09. If you want to know, but.
What do you average typically for the dance? What have you brought in
It's
years
been hit or
past?
miss because this year we've received a lot of donations to help cover the cost of having the dance.
Okay.
We're also providing a meal with the dance this year. So, the band is paid for by donations.
Do you have a goal?
Not really a goal set, it's just whatever we can get. In the past, when we've paid for everything ourselves, we haven't been that profitable. Most of the money ends up going back to the band. So,
Just a couple questions. The old compressor system that we have now,
Yep.
is there any market for that?
they would give us about $500 as trade. What they would do is either they would sell it to like a paintball company for paintball guns, or they would pull it apart and steal parts from it. Because everybody in the fire service is going to this 4,500 PSI system.
And the new masks that we're looking to get, is that enough to cover like everybody and a couple spares in case you get some retirements and some new hires? Or can we disinfect these enough to use them for a hire? How does that work?
What we do is each person has their own, so it's, it's sized accordingly. Fit testing provided with, training. So I may be a large, you may be a medium, and so forth, so everybody's sized appropriately.
So if I'm on the fire department and I retire, can you tell me what happened with my mask?
It gets set aside, maybe someone will fit it.
So it's got a possibility of being
Reused,
upcycled at some
yes.
point? Okay, thank you. That's just all I'm looking.
So, we're not asking for any action tonight, just kind of want to let this kind of soak in. So, with that being said, we're probably looking at the most we would need out of our capital account. We're sitting at a little over 208,000 in there right now in capital. After our dance, if we could approve this purchase in December, because they're first of the year, we'll see another price increase again too, like everything else. So it's still, if we're allowed to do this in December, just some future items in the future. We had 4 members retire this year. So to stay current on PPE, we've been talking about this for several years in budget talks and with the townships. Our turnout gear lasts for 10 years. So if we buy 3 sets every year, they had $24,000 roughly in turnout gear. That's boots, pants, jacket, helmets, gloves, a hood, and a helmet. We're supposed to destroy that stuff after 10 years. We haven't done, because we can't. SCBA's last 15 years. So to stay current, if we bought these new, we gotta start saving again. We'd have to save about $7,800 a year. So in 15 years, we got enough money saved up to go through this again. We need to start saving for radios. And we also gotta look into replacing our 1983 tender. It's our water hauler. We're looking at upgrading to a 3,000 gallon tanker versus a 2,000. Right now, we've got one quote, and the guy sent us an estimate for another one, and it's just shy of 300,000. We're still kind of working through getting quotes and put stuff together, but that's just kind of a heads up on what we got coming for expenses and stuff.
What did you say it was? I'm sorry.
It's the tender, like a tanker truck.
Yeah, right, I know, but
But
what
it's
did you say
about
it was?
300,000.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The first quote we got was like 291. The second one we got was about 284,000.
Okay.
And we're a few months away from even designing anything. or not. And the last guy said it'd be about a year and a half. If we ordered it today, it'd be a year and a half old. So we're looking at maybe 2 years out.
One more question I just thought of, and if you don't have the answer, that's fine, I'm trying to put you on the spot. Are the bottles that we have now, the scuba bottles, are they interchangeable with like one of Mingo's? Or would they be, so if there's a big call, it's mutual aid, and we need air, or they need air, can you swap bottles with these systems at all, or not?
Some yes, some no. These would be interchangeable. These have a quick attach on it, but the quick attach part screws onto the threads. So they would screw onto one of Mingo's current stop packs
Okay.
right now.
So they are interchangeable
Yes.
to some degree if needed for a big
And
major.
there's also safety features put into them. There's every air pack manufacturer puts the same valve on the backside. So like with that rib pack and stuff, you're able to plug into those and give each other air. So there's redundancies built into the systems. I have more information if you have more information on them.
I was thinking about some of those major calls we've had over the years, and if you run low on something, it's nice to say, here we go. We can swap it if we need to. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on it?
I do have a commissioner, or a question for the commissioner, since you're on the fire department. How many tankers do you have?
We have three.
How many?
Three.
Three? And what sizes are they? And what years are they about?
Yep, 2,000, 2,000, I think 3,500 is the biggest one. So 2,000, 2,000, and then a 3,500.
Okay.
And it's 79, 91, and 17, 2017.
What about Tillman?
That one's down at the sewage plant.
How much is there?
Yeah. So the new one that we got, 17, is actually Kelmer too.
Mm-hmm. We have two. We have one for 3,000 and one for 2,000.
Yeah.
That's all I had on the air pack part. Any other?
Okay.
Thank you.
This is, I'll just stand here, we're gonna lead into the next one. This is gonna lead into
I
the
know.
next topic, so.
Yeah, I know. We'll go with it this way. Kenyon Firemen's Relief Association gambling request. And I'm gonna tell everybody right now, I know this is gonna have a lot of discussion on it both ways. I have talked to Mark about it, and we've agreed that we're gonna give you 3 minutes to present what you want. The opposite people can speak, they get 3 minutes. We'll bring everybody out, council in the end will then be able to ask the questions that they want to ask, and then from there, we'll see what we're gonna go with it. Now, I do not expect people to be butting in on each other. Let it be courtesy and speak as it is, because twice, and I'm gonna ask the chief to remove you, because I think it might get a little bit heated. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So let's go forward with it.
So, what I just said with the future costs that we're having, and how to replace the money that we're gonna borrow out of capital, the department decided how do we make money. So as our entire department voted to petition the city to try for charitable gambling. With the information provided in your packet, is there any questions on that? We put our letter in, requesting permission. We kind of put a business plan in there. And I also gave you a copy of what you can donate for and what you cannot donate for. I have the gambling manager from Wanamingo. Jeremy Kiffmeyer is their gambling manager, so he can answer any questions that way. Our entire gambling board is here for questions. We looked at all of us getting trained, state certified. We looked into insurance. Insurance was $8 per thousand for equipment. Mark could do that through the league, Aaron said. And the fire department fully expect to pay our fair share for that. We were looking at if we were awarded, we know there's at least a 60-day notice. We would look at possibly if we could go in, we would start like January 2nd. That way our relief associate audit would go through, because that ends December 31st, and we get audited every year on everything we do. so. Um,
Do you have any, like, maybe the Winnebago people can answer this, like, what, how much, like, I don't know, it's probably just hit or miss, but is there like a ballpark amount of money you get a year or a month, or?
It's unknown,
It's just unknown, it's whoever
If
feels
nobody
like.
gambles, you don't make any money. If everybody in the road gambles, you make a lot of money.
Right,
We're required by law to give at least 30% away.
what is what,
30% of the intake,
right, but yeah, so you
for
just,
the gross,
but like, is there like somebody that does it right now?
Jeremy does.
Yeah, like, what do you, I mean, do you have a ballpark of how much money it brings in? Like, I know it's really, it fluctuates, I get that it
No,
fluctuates,
it's-
I understand that, but is
It
there just like a?
definitely varies month to month. Right now, we've been averaging around 15,000 a month
Okay,
of net proceeds. That's what goes into the bank.
okay,
And then off of that, you pay rent to the sites that you're in, which is a contract that we have with them. We pay rent for the electronic tabs. We pay a set fee to the provider for the tablets and stuff for the.
and that comes out of this,
That comes out of that.
okay,
I would say well, last month, I'm sorry, 15,000 is gross. We netted about 8.
okay, okay,
So-
after you pay everybody and, okay,
Yep.
good.
And we've
15 a month.
been, you know, it looks really weird when I read the report, because I talk about, you know, amount sold versus amount, you know, activity, prizes paid out, net receipts. You know, you're looking at 100,000 plus in activity, but so every time somebody plays a quarter ETAP, that's the activity, right?
Yeah,
So if somebody puts $20 in, they can play $100 worth. So that net activity is that 100 that they've played, even though they only put in. So that's where the $100,000 in gross receipts, prizes paid out $90,000,
sure,
net receipts 10,000. So we actually made 10,000, and then we pay our rent and stuff based off of how much we've made.
okay, okay, yeah, that helps, thank you.
When I was talking about, you know, the state requires a 30%, there's a star rating for organizations, 1, 2, 3, you know, 10, 20, 30%. We've been fairly fortunate, you know, we're usually over 50%, so our star rating's always been good.
So you're sharing 50% with your fellow,
With-
what you
with the
can
community.
share with,
Yeah,
your community.
A lot goes, you know, a fair portion goes to the city, we'll set it aside to the capital outlay. You know, like if we're looking for a new truck, or we're looking for packs, or we're looking for improvements to the fire hall. You know, like just a while back, we upgraded the flooring and stuff in our meeting room, which was something we wanted to do. Like, the city shouldn't have to pay for it, the community shouldn't be paid for it, because it's something we wanted to do. So we went to the city council and said, hey, this is a project we would like to do. We can't pay for it directly, but if you have it in your business meeting, in your minutes, saying that if we donate 10,000, you'll earmark it for this, we'll pay for it. We'll give this, do a check to the city, test it. So it doesn't actually cost the city anything.
Okay.
We've done that with a few different projects.
And then do you guys kind of pick like what you want to do, like, you know, like if you want to give it to the pool or, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, we have donated to the city general fund, so if other organizations want to come to the city and ask for money.
So you just give it to the city, you just say, I'm giving this, you know, you
Yeah.
guys don't pick that, but then the city decides where the
Right.
rest of that money goes.
Right, the city
Okay.
can decide. Technically, once we cut a check to whatever organization we donate to, they can spend it how they choose to.
Okay, but you guys ultimately pick that, like you vote on it at your
We'll
fireman's
vote on
meeting or something?
who we want to donate to. yes.
Okay, okay.
We have
So it's
organizations
okay.
come to us, as long as they're an organization that we can donate to legally.
Okay.
If we can, you know, they'll present to us and we'll donate to them if we can.
Okay,
But, you know, we definitely, you know, we look at it, like with the trucks and stuff, you know, if we can help out, we try to help out the city, help out the other communities that we provide service to. That way, when that check comes or the bill comes and they see 300,000 for a new tanker, well, we've already helped build that. Is that something that A, the department will need, and B, the guys in the department want?
okay.
I have two questions.
Mhm.
How many people do you have managing it? And
I mean, do you have people set aside that are full-time managing it, making sure it's built, doing the books, doing all that? You, okay.
I am our gambling manager, so the monthly, pull tab box, the games going into the machines for the paper tabs, e-tabs and stuff. I run everything on our end. Now, I do have an accountant, so at the end of the month, I give our accountant all of our numbers, and he prepares the report for the state, for the tax return for the state every month. But as far as daily activity, I'm in charge. I'm the one that goes, they need a new game at the bar, I'm the one that goes and puts the new game in, closes up the old game. With the e-tabs, it is relatively simple. I just have to track money coming in, and when they reach a threshold, it's $2,000. So when they get to $2,000 net, I have to go pull that money, deposit it in the bank. Other than that, yeah, it's, I do everything throughout the month as a gambling manager, and then our accountant, ATM management, when they go, I give them then the month numbers, he prepares our tax returns and stuff, gives me the report, I present it to our department at the next meeting.
How long have you been in business? How much of the money that you have that you present to other clubs or associations, what would be an approximate figure? And where did you get the money to start up?
So when I took over, we were already functioning. I took over the role from Larry Axelson, who was our gambling manager. So it was already going when I started. So I got kind of lucky there. But when we wanted a new machine, we just saved up and then purchased a new machine with our proceeds, which we're allowed to do. But you are allowed to take loans out to do so. I don't have where those loans have to come from. I do apologize for that. And the other part of your question, like, what do I share with other organizations?
How much, gifts do you pass on to other individuals? To groups of whatever it might be that come and ask for a donation. What's an approximate? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it truly varies on what they're asking for. I would say over the last 2 years, we've done well over $50,000 to the schools for different projects. We've done.
Now that is outside of your fire department, is that correct?
Correct, yes. It's a check to the school for, the two main projects for the two scoreboards on the softball field and the baseball field. We made big donations for that. We've done $5,000 to the school for the robotics program. The last 2 years, we've done $1,000 to the school for their CAN, the Nights Activities Network, the online stuff. We've done $1,000 to that the last 2 years, so there's $2,000 there. We've done, we've done a couple of different veteran organizations. We did $5,000 to Time on the Water, which is a organization that takes veterans, firefighters, EMS, teachers on fishing trips. And then we did another one to Time on the Water and
Similar organization.
it was a similar organization, but that one was directly geared towards vets, and it was $5,000 to that organization as well for another fishing trip for veterans.
Year 2 memorial,
We did
Veterans Memorial, baseball.
$10,000, I think was 15 total. It was 10 and 13.
We started this, it's been almost 25 years, and I was actually Wire and I started it up, I was president, he was the manager, and we basically raised enough money to pay for our fire hall, but we built back in '01, so I mean, we had just under 500,000 was our fire hall, so we collected at least that much, and then donations to other organizations, that's between 50 and 100,000 we donated besides. Over these 25
So
years.
roughly, this is all rough, I know, but roughly, according to your quote here, total day one would be about 18 grand it would take you to get up and running.
Yep.
But from what you're saying, and I know it's rough, and I know it's a different town, but if it's 8,000 a month, that you could recoup that in 3 months or less.
Our department voted to, our relief, we have that sitting in the checkbook, ready to go. And the department voted as a whole to take the chance and spend that to get this started. One thing I'd like to add is, we would pay the same rent to the establishment. I believe it's 20% and 15%, which is actually the maximum. We're looking to pay the same rent. And we're looking at, this is no offense to snow drifters or anything like that, or its members. We're looking at donating to the same causes, Rose Fest, Parks and Rec, the school system, Boy Scouts, a lot of the same entities. We would continue to honor that. We were just looking at a way to get the equipment that we needed and help with taxes in this town without raising the levy and taxing us out. So,
Do you have your equipment paid for? All your machines and everything?
So the city has the budget for equipment, we fund on top of that. So like if there's a piece of equipment that we want that isn't necessarily in the budget, the money isn't there, we, like our battery powered draws, we donated from our gambling to the city for the purchase of our draws.
We still have one truck that we're paying on through the city.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, on equipment, I meant E-tags, the machines that you're using. Are you renting them, or do you own them?
We own
And how long have you owned them?
Yep.
Because according to what I'm looking at here, machine rent is $808
So
for
we,
24 months, if I believe.
we own the
But that-
dollars.
That means for Kenyon, in 2 years, they're still not gonna own these.
in 2 years, we'll own it. It's rent to own.
When I first started,
Okay, it says machine rent here.
Yeah, it's in the.
It's a rent to own, yeah.
It's rent to
yeah,
own.
when we first started, we were doing a rent-to-own situation for our machines, but then we started in with E-tabs, and the E-tab, all the E-tab equipment is still owned by, we go from Pilot Games, or, sorry, Minnesota Gambling Supplies, and then Pilot Games, like their sister company. So like Pilot Games runs the e-bingo and that, and then Pilot Games is our provider for our e-tabs. Okay, all the tablets that we have at our site are still theirs. So if one of the tablets goes down or one of the tablets breaks, they ship a new one, we send the old one back. That's no cost. That's all covered in the rent that, you know, obviously varies by profit each month to them. So they're in charge of keeping the machines going, they're in charge of all the stands, they're in charge of the point of sale tablet. So all of that equipment is theirs. That's just factored into the monthly fees that we pay them based off of profit. Our pull tab machine, we own. We pay $90 a month for service on it. That's one of the central gaming industries is, we have a contract for that. They come, clean it, make sure everything's functioning and that. If a button's malfunctioning, we give them a call to come and fix it. But that's all covered in that $90 a month. But other than that, the machine is ours. So if we decided to be done today, we could do whatever we wanted to with that machine. It's ours.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Anybody else on
Thank you.
the fire relief?
Our stuff was leased to own at 404 per machine, so it's like 808.
Yeah.
It's leased to own, there's no prepayment penalty, so if we have a great first month and make 18,000, we could pay the machines back. With the E-tabs, they pull off a 31% fee right off the top, that's for Pilot Games. I believe she said next June, they'll